Hello everyone, welcome to ThoughtsPlus Devlog, first of many. Just want to say, before anything else, this is completely free, local, none of your files are stored anywhere else apart from your PC. There's no ads, there's no subscriptions, and it's all open source. This is just a note-taking app, which out of the box comes with some other features. So I'm just going to show you around, show how to use the app, show some of the cool features that it has, and mainly the quick capture. The difference between this app and others like Obsidian and Notion is that Obsidian, a lot of the particular niche community, I find that people with Obsidian didn't really like how it worked. So personally, Obsidian just had a lot of issues. The markdown wasn't that great, felt a lot tedious. There was a lot of friction when it came to writing notes, making notes pretty, opening the app and just trying to get things down. A lot of the features between when you have an idea and wanting to write it down was just not the best. No other app really had a solution for that. Notion was quite easy. I saw a lot of friends using it, tried it out for a couple weeks, didn't enjoy it. I've used sticky notes, I've used plain paper, I even had a whiteboard in my room. There are a lot of solutions that I've been trying to find. So this app primarily is just aimed at trying to, one, speed up your workflow. Let's say you're watching a movie, playing a game, or even doing a separate project. During that task, you can do quick capture to take you to a menu. In that menu, you can write down anything, then just press escape or press enter, and that's it. Saved to your workspace. Don't need to worry about it, and you can continue working on whatever you're working on. So I'm just going to show you the current state of the app. So right now, the app is open. You can see the dashboard. What we have is your briefing, which with any AI stuff is optional. You do not have to use any of the AI stuff. It's just there to kind of speed up workflows. So if you use it or you don't use it, it's up to you. We provide some free links to AIs, so you can just get a free API key, and it's more than enough to do some of the things here and there. Automatically updates as you do things. So if I complete a task, updates. Then we have some quite funny briefing messages while it loads. And then there we go, loads the messages. So this pulls in context from all the events you have, that you've completed or that you've missed. And it will try to just be a one sentence read on what you got to focus on, if it's urgent or if it's far away. So if you have something coming up closer, it will change the context to be a little bit more do it now than you don't need to work on it because it's not that soon. We have different modes. So we have today modes, we have a 1 week modes, 1 month, and all. So these periods just show you what you need to do. And then you can hover over if you want to see what specifically that task needs to be done. So we have some widgets on the dashboard. So there's different layouts for the dashboards. So I can show you that now quickly. So we have focus-centric, time flow, and calendar-centric. So the focus-centric just removes everything and just has your briefing and the tasks for today. Timeline flow is just a timeline specific. You still have your AI briefing, today's progress, and then your progress trend graph. Calendar-centric is similar, but replaces the flow with a calendar, obviously. And then you can click on a part of the calendar and it will take you there. So while we're here, we have two different ways of adding to calendar. You have obviously the original where you click on any day. You can put a title, a description. We have a little bit of an urgency. So this represents a color, but this also helps your AI briefing to work around the context. So if there's an urgent task that's coming up, it will be a little bit more urgent with how it talks about it. But if it's a low priority or if it's a miscellaneous priority, it won't prioritize it as much as other high priority ones around the same time, and so that is just how it works into that. So we do a medium, we can set any time, add event, and then if we go back to dashboard, we can see that it's updating the briefing, and there we go. To showcase the other way of adding an event, what we can do is we could do Ctrl+M. And then what this uses is try look at the event and date around the specific time. So what we can do is we can do a important meeting next week at 5 p.m. What this will look at is the context of what it is, when it is, and at what time. And so if I add note, it will process the information. It will now get the correct information of next week at 5 p.m. and then a high priority because it's an important meeting. So I can add a description here, or I can just confirm to add. We can scroll down, and then we can see that important meeting is now added. And we can see that it hasn't been added into the description because it isn't that close to the date. We can see that the one task that's missed is the dev. So this was trying to mimic a stock graph. I really wanted to try implement some way of having a down with missed progress or overdue progress. If you complete something, it goes up, so it goes up or down depending on how well you're doing. And then a predictive graph of if you manage to complete all the tasks. So if I complete this, it will go to orange because it's late. And then you can mark this down as on time. If you complete a task before the due date, it will automatically go down as on time. And then if you complete something early, it will say here, done early. This is just the dashboard. So one of the main features is the workspace. So right now, it is a work in progress, but we have quite a cool system that we set up. So one of the things is note structures. So each note structure comes with a way of how you'd normally use it. So Nerdbook, or the executable code notebook, is what might be familiar to you if you've used Jupyter Notebook or Markdown. So one of the main things about this is that all the Markdown does not need to be memorized. That was one of the biggest things when it came to people using Obsidian. So if you want to make something bold, you just need to double click on it, right click, and then you have every single Markdown option. One of the biggest features is, let's say you take an image, copy it, you can paste it in, and it renders. And if you want to edit it in any way, you can just click on the image, and then you get a specific crop and resize. So I can crop it, set the width to something like 600, and then it'll crop. I'm going to do the same thing for tables. One of the big things is copying and pasting tables. So let's say I already had a preset table somewhere else. So now I've copied it, now it's in my clipboard. I can just click, can paste, apply, and now it's pasted in. If you want to do any theming to a table, you just click on it again. You can go to theming. You could do highlight the first column, alternate rows, you can color it. You could do pretty much what you normally would do with Markdown, but with a little bit more laziness just kept in mind. Let's say you wanted auto numbers in rows. Every time you add a new row, auto numbers. There's just a lot of work that's gone into trying to speed up the flow of anything to do with Markdown. And then of course, because it is Markdown, you can just edit it, undo stuff, and then have it rendered very, very nicely. Then let's say you're doing a coding lesson and you're trying to talk about coding, or you're learning coding, or you just want to do coding snippets. We have coding cells, which automatically understand what programming language it is. Right now we've got JavaScript already built in. And then we have Python, which if you try to run Python, will try to automatically download it. So what I can do is I can run this and it will run. And then I can also change the type of cell to back down to Markdown, code, or text for anything simple. So if I paste in something that is Python, it will understand that it's Python. I can run the Python, it will now download, and there we go, it run Python. So now to the quick feature. Let's say I'm trying to write a note while doing a task. This works if I'm watching a video, if I'm doing anything on my PC. I just do Ctrl+Shift+N to trigger the shortcut. I can type anything like develop a new app. I can just press escape, and it auto saves and refocuses my main thing to carry on working on it. So let's say I'm more free now. I can come back to the app, open it, and now it's saved under the folder quick notes, saves as the date and time, and then we go, there's the note. So now I'm more free. What I can do from here is, let's say I can just copy this. You can carry on writing in here, or you can create a new file, Nerdbook, call this develop app idea, paste this into a markdown cell, and then you can carry on working inside of this file, developing the idea, whatever you had previously. There's another type of file called boards, so we'll call this images of cats. This is just a regular board. So if you do grid, you can add quite a lot of stuff. We are still adding to a lot of these features. So we can add an orange note with a blue tape. We'll do text. Then we can put in here images of cats. Let's just move this over there. So what I can do from here, again from clipboard, copy this, click on the board and paste it right in. I can do the same thing for portrait pictures. Paste this in nicely. And I can edit this, so let's say I want a red pin for this one, and then a nice blue background for that one. We also have a built-in calculator, so we move that down there, just rescale it a little bit. 5+5. We also have a dictionary, so if you want to search up cat, we can just click on any of these to add it, and then we can just move that over there, zoom out a little bit. There we go. That's the board feature. Then we can go over to the image gallery and see the images that we've added, which only pull from the executable files, because these need to be particularly saved for the markdown to work. So none of these are saved in the same location, so just bear that in mind. You can also link notes together, same way with Obsidian. So for boards, we can do connections, add a connection to JavaScript basics. We can go to our linked notes and see those two connected. Inside of here, we can do examples like in, and add this to that. And we can see that's linked. And now JavaScript basics are now linked to another file. We also have flashcards. So flashcards are quite a new feature. So if you're already using Anki, you can import and drag and drop from Anki flashcards. So here's some of the flashcards. So this is one of Anki's flash notes. I just drag and drop, processes and adds. Can add another one. So these allow for pretty much all scenarios. So new Anki notes, old ones. So if we do chemistry, do the study, show answer, show answer, show answer. Works like it should. AI feature. Just bear in mind that especially on the free tiers, it uses a lot of tokens, but what it can do is if you pick a note, it can turn that note into flashcards, give it a name, and then it will generate flashcards based on that note. One of the other features is the timer. So if you start a timer, shows inside the app while you're looking at other things. So let's say you're working on this. If you've also got the app minimized, it carries on. That was one of the recent things that we fixed. We also have a GitHub page. So we also recently added a 3D view, but we also have the normal heat map view from before. So you can view all your different commits that are public in every single year. And then you can look at all your repos, the stars and the forks. Your progress page is a little bit overcomplicated right now. We do plan on reworking this, but we have the events, task trends graph, snapshots and milestones. One of the other things is the dashboard edit. This is a work in progress. A lot of this is slightly bugged, but the main thing is that you can delete widgets, reorder widgets only on the default dashboard. You can reorder your sidebar. Another thing is that on every single dashboard is you can turn the icons off, change your accent color, theme, font, and then even have a custom dashboard if you really want. So for settings, if you find any issues, you can report it on the GitHub. For your AI configuration, you can either do it through onboarding or through here. So you can add a Gemini key or a Perplexity key, and then even set a multi-provider fallback. So if you want to add both keys, or different Gemini keys. So when one runs out, it automatically goes to the next one. You can toggle off AI note descriptions. You can change your display name. You can set a specific data location and then open that folder to see what's inside. You can set your GitHub username, so that would pull your repos and commits. Then we have shortcuts. So all the shortcuts inside of the app are configurable and then they update. So for example, quick capture, we can change this to Control Q. And then whenever we press Control Q, it shows up quick capture. We can also toggle off toggles. So if I do Control Q again, it doesn't work. You can stop all notifications. You can import from a previous calendar. And then if you want to export, all you do is open a folder from here and then import to another. And then we have feature toggle. So like shortcut toggle, if you never plan on using a feature, you can of course turn it off and only use the features that you want. We do plan on continuously adding features depending on the feedback that we get. So that's pretty much the entire app. If you have any feedback, if you try it out and have any issues, or you have any recommendations for some features that you might personally like, or that you know lots of other people might like, please let us know. We really love this app and we really want to see it do well, and we want to do it for free. So please just bear in mind that there will be bugs, there will be issues, because it is just a bunch of students trying to work on an app to try and make a solution that is for a very niche community. If you end up liking the app, please leave a review. If you have any questions, please let us know, we'll be happy to answer. Currently, we're only available for the Windows Microsoft Store, but we are trying to think of some solutions and workarounds to getting it onto a website, which can then be accessed from anywhere and would be synced to your storage, which means you'd be able to access it on any mobile device or any operating system.